Hi, we're here at a yoga teacher training in Maui, and my name is Theresa Guinasso, and I'm giving a workshop on the relationship between art and yoga and creating chakra mandalas. So as to the relationship between art and yoga, it is an invaluable experience to understand how our creativity can open up our practice and how our practice can open up our creativity and allow both to be enhanced. I believe that doing artwork is a form of energy work, and it can open us up and allow us to be more forgiving and compassionate with ourselves, help us learn to let go and see what wants to emerge, whether it's in the creation of our life or the creation of a painting, and to be, very patient and forgiving as we are learning, what's working, what's happening, and it becomes a whole beautiful learning process. So it felt very important for me to share how this has worked in my life, and how when I was going through some very difficult times and healing, I began to create paintings that were mandalas, and I would focus on each chakra. So the first one being red, and I would do a design that, well, I can show you. This is one version of a red chakra mandala. And this one actually happens to be the symbol that represents that first root chakra. But it doesn't have to be like this. Just working with the color itself will help you to expand that particular chakra and bring balance into that area that may be a little bit weak. So each chakra has a different element going on to it, psychologically, musically, in many different respects. And if you go through, and there's the 3-minute chakra test that's online that a lot of people are familiar with, or if you look in Anna Judith's book, Eastern Body, Western Mind, you can find towards the back of the book a assessment chart to find out where you might be weak in one of your chakras. But towards the beginning of the book, there's also another chart that just is saying each chakra, and you may, just by going over it, see where you might need to strengthen one of those 7 major energy centers. So what we've been doing is creating these mandalas and having lots of fun. It's a very easy process, and you don't have to have any artistic experience. We started with a blank canvas, like you'll see here. And then you can photocopy a design from many different sources. Online there are mandala coloring books, and you can just get an outline design, take it to your nearest photocopy store, and blow it up to whatever size canvas you're working with. And then we'll take and there's a process of being able to transfer the design onto the canvas. We just use this as a tool, a starting tool. You can use part of the design or all of the design, and once we get it transferred on, it looks a little like this. This was using a white graphite transfer paper. Then you can just take and begin to color in the different sections. We've all been working on this a bit, and you can see how we've painted in, and you can make each of them the same, or you can add variation. It helps to continue a pattern around, because mandalas are full of repeating patterns. As you can see in nature, patterns repeat, and this is actually very comforting to our soul. So that actually the process of creating this mandala becomes very meditative and very relaxing, and allows us to focus, slow our body down. And I like to play beautiful music in the background that's really going to influence me in a positive way as I'm doing these creations. So You can, if you'd like, towards the end, embellish it. That's what some of the people are doing over here. You'll see they're picking out jewels and gems, and you can use puff paint to act as a glue. You just put a little dot of it underneath the gem, and then you get a piece that looks gorgeous like this. And then we're gonna have a little closing circle here soon where we talk about what this process was like for us, and we allow the mandalas to continue to speak to us. So there was one that I created that was all of the chakras, and at the time I was creating it, I was just listening to my intuition and doing what I wanted to do. So at that point I put a big jewel in the center of this particular piece, and then later in the winter of my life, in many respects, I was going through a night that was very challenging. Some people call it a dark night of the soul. I was feeling down on myself and sad, and I had earlier that day placed a mandala that was about 3 feet by 3 feet on my wall. I kind of forgot about placing it there. I just was moving it. So I was sitting in this evening in this chair and crying and upset, and I looked up, and it was as if I had not even done the painting myself. Spirit just really opened my heart, and I felt like I heard a voice that said, "You are that." And I'm like, "What?" And I noticed there was a jewel at the center of the blossom, and it means Om Mani Padme Hum, which means you are the jewel at the center of the blossom, or you're the jewel at the center of the lotus. And it was a lotus painting similar to this in its design. You can go online to beinspiredtoday.info in order to see that, or you can go to my Facebook page, Theresa Guinasso. That's Theresa, last name Guinasso, and you can look at my artwork album. And I do workshops for all kinds of people, sometimes locally in the San Francisco Bay Area, sometimes off-site, and we'll do retreats where we can learn how to create these and see how they can make a difference in our lives and the lives of our loved ones. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
These are the beautiful souls joining us. Yay! It's been such a fun time.